What we've done is put the lips in. We used this stuff to put them down. Quite honestly, I would probably use a different kind of contact cement if I was to do it over again. Something that cures up a little bit faster. The screws we're using now are a lot better, the flat screws. So if you're going to do this, use the flat screws. The other thing is we went in and we put our lightweight glass down. We had, I think it was a place here, a place here, and a place there where we had not put our lightweight piece down. So we went ahead and did that. And then we put the 1708 on the top. So basically right now we have one piece of this. This actually ends up being pretty strong once it dries up, but this is, as you can tell, is extremely thin compared to the 1708. And from there, we put a piece of 1708 down. We foamed the corners so that the epoxy doesn't drain through, and we'll be going through and using the epoxy filler and glass in those corners. So we'll just take some of our, scrap glass and kind of mix up a slurry and be putting in those corners. That side, because we're further ahead, because that was our test side, has the glass filler epoxy in there. So the next thing we're going to do is go around these two doing the same thing. Then we're going to come and clean it all up, kind of make, get a little sand with the radius thing, knock the high spots off. And then we're going to go in with our lightweight chop strand to make the radius and blend it into the walls. After we get that in, we will then be putting regular chop strand on top, the heavier chop strand, to bond it all together. At that point, we have to decide whether or not, where we are height-wise, and whether or not we need another 1708 or then another chop strand on top. We won't really know that until we have the other two in, but we're going to be close. The only place that it's a little bit of a problem is right here where we match up. So if the worst comes to the worst, I'll have to cheat right there, but I'm not too terribly worried about it. I'll show it to you. It's not the end of the world. Every time we add glass to this, it gets stronger and stronger. I cannot tell you guys how much more strength it gets in it. Michael was standing on it earlier on. I wish I'd have taken a video of it. We can't stand on it right now because we've got the plastic things in place for the lip. So anyway, that's the update. I hope you guys are excited and as thrilled as we are.
I'm so thrilled
with what we see right now. Hopefully Michael can get some really good down shots. It's obviously we've not cleaned up, but we're very, very excited. We have a ways to go. But, quite honestly, the next part is there's going to be a lot of glassing and sanding, like we've said before. But we'll probably break that up a little bit with some making some decisions so we can start to get the lids moving along. We've still got to go back and fill our speaker holes and stuff like that. But we've kind of hit it pretty hard this morning, and it's gone exceptionally well. So we continue to lay the glass on this to get our radiuses and stuff in, and what he did was, I don't know if I already told you this, so if I did I apologize, but we'd put the 3/4 ounce on this edge and on these inside edge to help us with our radius. Everybody knows the radius problems with fiberglass. Thicker the fiberglass, it doesn't want to go into a radius. The 3/4 ounce works really well, but it obviously doesn't have the strength of some of the heavier mattings, so you've got to kind of keep that in mind. But we need to start to blend that radius up. So that's what he did, and then he came in and filled it with chopped strand in between, and also working up into the radius, along with working up onto this edge here, which we will have to come back and feather and radius out. As you can see on this edge here, we've feathered up to here, and I will come in and blend this back so it's kind of uniform and on that side too. Our next step on this is to lay, I can't remember if we decided 1708 or another layer of chopped strand. We need to kind of work on our radiuses a little bit in here. We're still a little shallow, and I'm a little bit concerned about that when we come in and sand. I don't want to end up back to the epoxy, filler, the thickener that we started our radiuses with. So I want to kind of be careful about that. Michael likes to finish with the chopped strand because it says it's easier to finish than the 1708, and that's what we'll do. And so this morning we decided to pull one of the forms to see what we have underneath, and we're going to, I always said, and I promise you guys, I'll share with you what we learned. Do not use this stuff. It didn't set up well. Some places it didn't set up, some places it set up. I just don't think that's probably a good idea. We did get the form out. Hindsight being 2020, we probably should have glassed a thin layer of glass over the pink foam. We didn't. So if I was to do this again, I would probably put the very thin layer of glass all the way around, then attach your form. That way when you pull your form off, you're not pulling the foam and everything. So we've kind of, it's not the end of the world. We've kind of created ourselves a little bit of work, but that's how you learn. And so I think it turned out great. Our lip is pretty good. It is thicker in some areas than other areas, and we'll go around and fix that. That's just part of it. We're getting better. Michael is getting better and better at that. But the next phase is to put a layer of 1708 all the way around here, possibly two, undecided. We'll see after the first layer goes down. And then after that we'll decide whether or not chopped strand 1708, who knows. We do need to get our lip thicker, and we're going to try to cheat it a little bit and make it a little taller, so we have something to sand back to. But I think for a first attempt for us, this has turned out really well. It's extremely strong. Michael was actually standing on it this morning, much to my stress, because our lip is only about half as thick as it should be, but he was actually standing on here this morning, and it took it extremely well. So with each layer of glass and stuff we put on, it continues to get stronger. So to summarize, put a thin layer of glass on your foam. I think it'll save you time and effort. That's a good idea. Michael brought up that we could have started on the inside and then put the radius on. You know, this is probably not the last one of these we're going to do. Believe it or not, we've already had 4 or 5 people contact us to do this on their boats, and you know, we're not even through with this one yet. One customer turned around and said, "I'll bring you my boat. I don't care if it takes 2 years." Might take 2 years. Anyway, so appreciate it, guys. I mean, it's the ultimate compliment, but You know, right now, obviously, we want to get this finished up and figure out what we're doing and how we're doing it. The strength is there. There's no doubt about it. The strength is there. It's stronger, and with each layer, it's getting stronger and stronger. So, not too worried about that side of it. What I'd like to do is to make sure that we cut down on work in the future. Michael is getting a lot better at getting the glass down. We have some problem areas, you know. That's just part of it, and the more glass we lay, the better we get at it. And laying this glass compared to how we did it quite a while ago, it's 1,000 times better already. And with each time we do it, we're getting better and better. We're getting better about the amount of materials we're using, and we're getting better about not wasting our products, you know, our stuff. So that's what I think is one of the important things that people miss, is every time you do it, if you're getting better, you learn it. Now, sometimes, you know, we get a little ahead of ourselves and make stupid mistakes because we get in a hurry. And that's part of it. You know, we're not perfect here. You know, no, we're not perfect.
No, you're not. What kind of talk is that?
You know, I know most of you think that I am, but I do make a mistake at least once a year. So just kind of keep that in mind. You all can't be like Grumpy, but you should strive to be more like Grumpy every day.